It's a real pleasure for me, on behalf of Microsoft, to welcome you all here this evening to our office here in Washington, D.C. And it's a real pleasure on behalf of the Board of KIND to welcome you all here this evening to also hear a little bit about this wonderful book, Green Card Stories. As Wendy said, KIND is still a relatively young organization. We were founded in 2008. I had the real pleasure to be there, be present at the creation with Angelina Jolie and others, and be there when we recruited Wendy to become the executive director. She's now our president, as we opened the doors in January of 2009. We created KIND in recognition of a phenomenon that many people in the country are not necessarily aware of, which is the fact, sort of obvious to many lawyers, that if you're applying to stay in the country, in many instances you must appear before an immigration judge. This is a person who's part of the federal government, who has a courtroom that looks like many other courtrooms, someone who's trained in immigration law, who has a proceeding that typically has a lawyer representing the United States government. And yet, we created KIND because there are many, many children who end up in the United States unaccompanied by an adult or their family, having to face these proceedings alone. And when I say alone, I mean alone. Not only lacking a family member to provide support, but lacking a lawyer to provide advice, counsel, or advocacy. And you can just imagine what it's like to be 17 or 15, or our youngest client, 3 years old, going before an immigration judge, facing an immigration lawyer, oftentimes not speaking English, trying to explain why under the immigration law you should be allowed to stay. It's not just daunting. I think it borders on the unfathomable. It just is unfathomable. And yet that is the way our system works, and what it really means is this. If we don't have pro bono representation for these children, in all probability, in many, many cases, they will have no representation at all. And what we found through KIND was the opportunity to bring people together with a vision over time of ensuring that every child who's separated from their family would get the benefit of legal counsel in going through this kind of proceeding. When we started, we were in a period of time where there were about 8,000 of these children going through the immigration system every year. Today, because of changing demographic and immigration trends, the number has actually grown. It's this year likely to be 12 or 14,000. And yet, as you've also seen in the numbers that Wendy recounted, we really have started to make a difference. We're operating across the country. We're approaching the point where we have trained almost 5,000 volunteer lawyers. We are partnering with 130 law firms and companies across the country. And we are now literally serving thousands of young people every year. We know we still have a lot of work to do, and we see that in the numbers that lie before us. But I think more compelling in many ways than the numbers are the stories that we find our clients have to tell. One cannot help but do this work without being touched by the stories that our clients have to tell. And there are a few things more rewarding for those of us who do the work than becoming a part of these individuals' lives and having the opportunity to help them tell their story. I've had the chance in my role as the chair of the board to meet some of our clients, to hear their stories firsthand, and each and every one of them has certainly made a lasting impression. I can't help but think on an evening like tonight of one particular young woman I had the opportunity to meet when she was 17 in Los Angeles, and she was our client. She had left Honduras a year earlier. She had been the victim of unspeakable, really, sexual violence in her home and her hometown in Honduras. Somehow she had made it across Central America. She had made it through most of Mexico. But as she approached the US border, she found herself amidst human traffickers who subjected her to even worse violence and abuse than she had even faced at home. But she made it to the United States. She made it into the hands of a volunteer at Kind. And thankfully, she had a lawyer who helped her win her case. And this woman now has a different life. She's a budding young American. She has great aspirations and dreams. She's contributing great things to the community. And I think as much as anything else, her story brings to life the incredible potential all of these people have to add to our society. At Kind, we see it through the eyes of young people who need a lawyer. But we also know that that's only one slice of the immigration challenge, the immigration issue, the immigration debate that the country is addressing. And what I love about this book, Green Card Stories, is that it does, on some pieces of paper and between the covers of this book, the same thing that we try to do when we serve as a lawyer. It brings to life the real experiences of real people. And what this book does so incredibly well is show the amazing range of this generation of people who are on the path to becoming American citizens. They come from every corner of the world, they work in every part of the country, they come from every walk of life, and they contribute to every part of the economy. It is amazing to see not only what they will do, but what they are doing already with the green cards that they have obtained. And more than anything else, I think what it reminds us of is that the American dream is alive and well. But for many people, the American dream starts with the dream of becoming an American. And through this kind of book and the kind of work that many of us have had the opportunity to do, we've had the chance to help people pursue their dream, and in the course of pursuing their dream, help contribute to an even stronger country. So this is a nice opportunity to reflect, to celebrate on the notable work that has led to this book, and I think to continue to inspire us all to continue to do even more to help these dreams come true. So thank you very much.